It's Monday and it's a beautiful day in Simpsonville today. Sun is out brightly. We're going to get into the lower to mid 70s today, and it's starting to look a lot like spring. A lot of the trees are in bloom, and a lot of the flowering trees are in beautiful blossoms of pinks and whites, and this is a gorgeous time of year. The mountain should follow this by about 2 weeks because of the altitude. So we're still not headed up to the mountain because the weather can still be pretty cold right now, and we won't have the beautiful colors of the spring for about another 2 weeks up there. As I was looking at my calendar and trying to plot out a little bit of the summer, I noticed that we're coming up on a time when kids start thinking about graduation. And interestingly enough, as I grabbed into a bucket of old sermons, a message came up that was designed to be preached to our youth in our church at graduation. It was titled "The Keys to Happiness," and graduation, now what? I heard about a college student who was promised a new car if his last semester in college he would get really good grades, so he signed up for music appreciation, art appreciation, and basket weaving. He was doing really well, and one of his friends said, "It looks like you're going to get your new car." And he says, "No, it's done. I don't have a chance of getting that new car." And his friend said, "Well, why?" And he said, "I thought you took art appreciation, music appreciation, and basket weaving." And he says, "Well," he said, "in basket weaving at the last minute, a couple of Navajos registered for that class, and they threw the whole curve off, and I failed." Well, in Acts chapter 20, verse 24, it says, "But I do not consider my life of any account as dear to myself, in order that I might finish my course in the ministry to which I received from the Lord, to testify solemnly of the gospel of the grace of God." What does it take to be happy in life? What is your purpose in life? What are the keys to happiness? What would you tell a new college student or a new high school student was the keys to life? Well, here's what I shared. 3 simple points. Know who you are. Now, a lot of you would take a negative side of that and say, "I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. I don't have any special skills or talents. I'm not even sure what I want to do with my life." Well, Moses was a little like that in Exodus chapter 3, verse 11. He said, "Who am I to go unto the Pharaoh? I mean, I'm not an eloquent speaker, and who am I?" Well, you need to remember who you are. You're an imperfect. But you know what? God specializes in imperfects. You were chosen by God. If you're watching this, God's already put a call on your life to listen to His word and to be a part of His plan. And so you're not only an imperfect, but you're chosen by God, which makes you a perfect. Perfect for what He has in mind for you. We're all imperfects, but God He specializes in imperfects. So know who you are. You're one of God's children, chosen specifically by Him. Secondly, we need to know that we're capable of success. Let me say that again for you. This may sound like one of the TV preachers, pie in the sky, but we are capable of success. You know, we all use the verse very often that we can do all things through Christ, but just as Moses was chosen for a specific purpose, God chose you for a specific purpose, and where God guides, God provides. You are capable of success. Now, success is measured in a lot of different ways. Success doesn't mean becoming the President of the United States or coming through with a major breakthrough in medicine or science. But if you follow His will and use the gifts that He's given to you, you will succeed in what He has for you. You're capable of success. So you need to know who you are. You're a child of the King. You need to realize that you're capable of success if you use your gifts and talents and follow His will. And thirdly, we are God's instruments. That is, He specifically chose you for a common goal. The common goal that we all have as one of His instruments and one of His children is to glorify Him. Now, we can do that in a lot of different ways. You don't have to be a famous person to glorify Him. And when you realize that God provides wherever He guides, You realize even though you're an imperfect, you're perfect in him because he's perfectly equipped you for whatever task he's given to you. And it's very, very important that remember that he'll never ask you to do that which he doesn't also give you a desire to do. If somebody had told me when I was a teenager that I would be a minister and that I would be watching after the needs of a flock of hundreds of people and listening to their complaints and listening to their grumbles and also there to rejoice with them when babies were born or cry with them when loved ones died, I'd say you're crazy. And yet he changed my desire and made that the desire of my heart, to love people and to be there with them. Isn't that interesting? If you say, I don't want to go to a mud hut in Africa, he won't ask you to go to a mud hut in Africa. But he might change your desire, your heart, so where that is the biggest burden on your heart is to go to a mud hut in Africa. So he won't ask you to do anything that he doesn't first prepare your heart for and give you a desire for. So those three things we need to remember to be happy in life. Who we are, we're a child of the King. We're imperfects, but perfect in him. We're capable of success. God wouldn't ask us to do anything unless he knew we could conceive exactly what he wants out of our lives. And thirdly, that we're God's instruments, and we have a common goal to glorify him, and where he guides, he'll provide, and he'll never ask you to do anything that he doesn't also give you the desire in your heart. Now here's the final thing that you want to remember. You want to remember John 10:10. He said he came that you might have life and that you might have it abundantly. Now that doesn't mean abundant in material blessings. That means that you're going to have life in abundance if you'll just follow his path for your life. Trusting in him, as Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways and he'll direct your path. Content, as Philippians 4:11-12 says. Paul said, I've learned to be content. Whether in an abundance or whether in need, I've learned to be content with whatever God gives me. And then trading each day for something of value. At the end of the day, you ought to be able to look back and say, what did I trade a day of my life for? Was it just to sit and read a book? I hope not. Was it to encourage someone? I hope so. Was it to accomplish a purpose to glorify him? I hope so. Did you trade a day of your life at the end of the day for something worthwhile? And he wants us to learn to live one day at a time. God specializes in imperfects. I know that to be a fact because he did that in my own life. And if you're in your last semester of school and you signed up for art appreciation, music appreciation, and basket weaving, I sure hope no Navajos enroll and ruin the curve in your class. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.